Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Hahn, the CEO and President, Founder, Chief Cook and Bottle Washer here at Playing Forgotten Music on the old 78 records. And I'd like to thank you for joining me. Again, we're always trying new things today. So today, we had finals at my other job today, so I got off a little early and I went to my favorite little haunt here, to the used book sale at the Friends of the Library. And while I was there, I picked up some interesting records. As most of you probably know by now, I now have a new granddaughter. So I picked up, we're going to do a little children's show. And the first album we're going to do is called A Walk in the Forest. And this is music by Herbert, oh boy, Haufrechc. Hauerfart. Anyway, A Walk in the Forest. It's a musical presentation of the popular children's book In the Forest by Marie Hill Etz. Then, our next little show will be a little fireman, because I have two grandsons, Brandon and Ryan, who I'm very proud of. Never heard of these before. It's a fascinating story. It had a toy engine, a fireman's hut, and something to serve as a fire hose, and you could have all kinds of fun. This is a story by Margaret Weiss Brown, sung by Tom Glazer. Last but not least, we have the Playful Scarf by Robeson-Mohaupt, told by Norman Rose. And that looks kind of like that there. So, I'm not sure which one we're going to start with, but what I'm doing is I'm kind of recording the entry for this because I have three grandchildren and my little granddaughter, Nemi, who I love dearly, and I wanted to have something to tell a bedtime story. So with that, I hope you're pretty ready to make this happen. And so thank you for joining us. Here we go.
Soft like a cloud, soft like the mist, and soft like the smoke. I love my scarf, so playful and gay, yet never a sound does it make. My scarf and I play together every day. When I hold it high over my head and run lightly on tippy-toe, I am a cloud, floating high in the sky. I tie my scarf around my neck like a cowboy bandana, and I'm a happy cowboy, galloping over the prairie, galloping, galloping, galloping over the prairie. Now my scarf and I are away, riding up and down on the ocean blue. Sailors wear scarves around their necks, and so do I, and march in a parade. dolly is sleeping. My scarf is her blanket. I hold her in it and rock her to sleep. Sleep, dolly. Sleep. When I drape my scarf around my shoulders, it is a beautiful white cloak, and I am a king, stepping proudly to my throne. Proudly, proudly. Around my waist I tie my scarf, and in it is a dagger. I wear a black hat and earrings of gold. I am a bold pirate. Yo-ho-ho! I walk like this. And I play in the garden, my scarf plays in back. It is my wings, and I am a butterfly. I flutter my wings up and down, up and down, up and down. And then I fly away, dancing in the air. I light on a flower, fold my wings in back, and just rest with my eyes wide open, because that's the way a butterfly sleeps.
and I went for a walk in the forest. A big wild lion was taking a nap, but he woke up when he heard my horn. "Where are you going?" he said to me. "May I go too, if I comb my hair?" So he combed his hair, and he came too, when I went for a walk in the forest. Two elephant babies were taking a bath, but they stopped their splashing when they saw me. "Wait for us," they said as they dried their ears. One put on his sweater. One put on some shoes. And the elephant babies came too, when I went for a walk in the forest. Two big brown bears sat under a tree. They were counting their peanuts and eating jam. "Wait a minute," they called. "We want to go too." So they picked up their peanuts and a spoon for the jam, and the big brown bears came too, when I went for a walk in the forest. A mother and father kangaroo were teaching their baby how to hop. "We'll bring our drums," the mother said. "And our baby is no bother at all. I carry him in my pocket." So the baby climbed into his mother's pouch, and the kangaroos came too, when I went for a walk in the forest. Monkeys high up in the trees stopped playing and shouted when they saw me. "A parade! A parade! We like a parade!" So they got their best suits from a hole in the tree, and the two little monkeys came too, when I went for a walk in the forest. Behind a tall weed. "Don't be afraid," I called to him. "If you want to go too, you can walk with me." So the rabbit came too. I blew my horn. The lion roared. The elephants trumpeted through their trunks. The big bears growled. The kangaroos drummed. The monkeys shouted and clapped their hands. But the rabbit made no noise at all when I went for a walk in the forest. We came to a place made for picnics and games. So we stopped and ate peanuts and jam, and some ice cream and cake that were there. We played London Bridge is falling down. And everyone hid. Except the rabbit. He just stood still. Coming, I called. Then I opened my eyes. There wasn't an animal there at all. But there was Daddy. He was hunting for me. Whom were you talking to, he said. To my animals, Daddy. They are hiding, you see. But it's late, Daddy said, and we must go home. Perhaps they will wait till another day. So I called to them as we went away. Goodbye, I said. Don't go away. I'll hunt for you another day. When I come for a walk in the forest.
Fire, 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 hear the people shout. Where are the firemen to put the fire out? They leap into their hats and boots and slide down poles with one big scoot. They bore their engine off, it goes with hook and ladder, rubber hose. They pass us by so very fast we've hardly time to gaze. Their big bell clang make way for us to fight the roaring blaze. Fire, 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 raging all about. Here come the firemen to put the fire out.
Once upon a time, there was a great, big, tall fireman. And once upon a time, there was a little fireman. They lived in two firehouses right next door to each other. And one fireman had a big black and white Dalmatian dog who ran behind his big fire engine. And the other fireman had a very little black and white Dalmatian puppy dog who ran to all the fires right behind his little fire engine. One night, the two firemen were sleeping in their firehouses, and the Dalmatian dogs were sleeping under their fire engines, when clang went the loud ringing noise of the fire gong in the big firehouse, and cling went the little ringing noise of the fire gong in the little fireman's house. Barked the big Dalmatian dog. Barked the little Dalmatian dog. Fire! 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 Called the people in the street. Then out from the big firehouse came the big fireman in his big fire engine with his big Dalmatian dog running behind him. And out from the little firehouse came the little fireman with his little puppy dog running along behind him. The big engine blew its big moaning siren to tell everyone to get out of the way. And the little fire engine blew its little moaning siren. And then they came to a great big house on fire. When the big fireman got there, he said, "Ho, ho, what a big roaring fire."
Fire, 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 raging all about. Here come the firemen to put the fire out. A great big ladder, up it goes, a great big fireman, great big hose, shooting water with a great big roar till the great big fire isn't there anymore. Fire, 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 raging all about. Here come the firemen to put the fire out. The small, small ladder, up it goes. A small, small fireman, small, small hose, squirting water on a flaming wall. But the big, big fire didn't mind at all.
But when the little fireman got to the big fire, he said, oh dear, that fire is too big for me. So, with away he went until he came to a little house on fire. And when he got there, he pulled out his little hose and he squirted water on the little flames until the fire was all out. But the big fireman had a bigger fire, and he had to squirt his big hose for a long, long time until the fire was all out. When the big fire was all splashed out with water, and when the little fire was all splashed out with water, the two firemen jumped on their fire engines and went home, with their black and white Dalmatian dogs running along behind them. The big fireman ate a great big lamb chop and a great big dish of pink ice cream. Then he jumped into bed and went right to sleep. And the little fireman ate a very little lamb chop and a very little dish of pink ice cream. Then he jumped into bed and went right to sleep. And the great big fireman dreamed a very little dream. And the little fireman dreamed a great big dream.
Fire, 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 raging all about. There go the firemen who put the fire out. They scale their ladders, squirt their hoses, smoke gets in their eyes and noses, pour the water on each nook and smash through flame with axe and hook. Then home they go when the fire is out and people shout their praise, while big bells clang, make way for us who fought the roaring blaze. No more fire raging all about. There go the firemen who put the fire out. There go the firemen who put the fire out.
Thank you for joining us for our little show tonight. I call this, I'm not sure what I call it. This is 3 bedtime stories for my 3 grandchildren. The first one we did is My Playful Scarf. And I have to get used to doing this backwards with the camera. My Playful Scarf was written by Robeson-Mohaupt, told by Norman Rose. And this is for Nemi. The second one we did was called A Walk in the Forest by Young People's Records. Looks kind of like that. Done by, this is based on the book In the Forest, published by Viking Press of New York. And this was done by, I just had it here. Narrators was David Pfeffer. And that is for Ryan. And for Brandon, we have The Little Fireman, right here. Brandon, that one's for you. And The Little Fireman was told by Martin Wolfson. Again, thank you for joining us. If you have any questions or comments or anything else, you can always reach me at kurthahn74@yahoo.com. My Facebook page is facebook.com/S3productions2. And again, I'm just practicing how to do this. And I share this with you all as part of my learning curve. I appreciate your comments and suggestions and everything else, because that's how we learn and we share this together. With that, thank you so very much, and y'all have a great night.